Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Ron. Let's give me up.
You see what filming this? You've got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Martial Arts Chat podcast is sponsored
Martial
by
Arts
A1
Chat.
Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting-edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters,
Martial
gym
Arts
enthusiasts
Chat.
and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. And if you're wanting to get into shape, get back into shape, then go to beastgear.co.uk. Use the coupon code MartialArtsChat to save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. We are also sponsored by Feel Supreme. FeelSupreme.co.uk offers CBD oil and natural nutrition. They will assist your progress in diet and lifestyle. Natural supplements and complementary services such as yoga, mind coaching and weight cutting programs. Finally, we are also sponsored by World of Martial Arts Television. WOMA.tv produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever wanted to know about martial arts. Hello, my name's Chris Allen and this is the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Today I'm joined by Bellator's Terry the Dominator Brazier, double BAMMA champion, multiple champion, other organisations. Terry, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
No, I really appreciate you coming on because I know you literally only have time to do these things when you're driving from gym to gym because you train all over the place, don't you?
Yeah, unfortunately one of the downfalls of training in England is you've got to commute to get an all-round game. So yeah, I'm always commuting to training and stuff. Just finished jiu-jitsu, boxing this morning. Like my jiu-jitsu gym's like an hour and a half away. So yeah, you've caught me at a good time.
No worries. Well, if you get stuck in traffic, just let me know. We'll extend the interview. Keep you entertained. So what we'll do quickly is I want to go start off with one of my favourite fights. Actually, I saw you fighting, and that was when you came. It was in BAMMA when you fought Walter. I can never pronounce his surname.
Gahadza, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that was. I loved that fight, and I know you might not think it's your favourite fight, but how you came back after coming back from adversity, which you like doing, it looks like, to be fair. Are you actually, do you feel like, you thrive a little bit on the chaos and you don't mind getting one little knock just to get you going?
100%. Something we've been working on with my head coach, Eric Ures, is something we've identified is if I've got a game plan or too much to think about, basically my mind is slower than my body, if that makes sense. So as soon as I think about something, it's too long, it's too late. So as soon as I think about doing a technique, doing a style, doing a move, then it's too late. I'm already getting countered. I'm an instinctual fighter, so that for me, getting hit and just having to fight, the reality is, if you've got to think about something, you're not going to do it right. Do you know what I mean? So it's only stuff that is instilled in your body as a second nature that actually works in a fight, I find. And that fight of Walter just showed that, where he put me on my arse and it was literally survival mode and then just fighting. And I'm the same in sparring. As soon as I think about stuff in sparring, I get tagged. Where if I just fight and listen to my corner, I'm quite good at taking instruction. Like I trust my corner, I trust my coaches. So if they call for something, I'll do it as they call for it. I don't think about it. As soon as you think about it, you're a second behind the other guy. So yeah, that fight sort of proved that for me. I was actually going to retire after that fight. I couldn't handle the stress of the build up to the fight and the anxiety. And on the way to that, I'd already decided. I'd said to my partner at the time, I was like, "That's me. I'm gonna call it a day after this fight. I can't handle the stress and the anxiety and stuff." And then obviously I beat Walter when I didn't think I was going to beat him. The guy's 16-0. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what? Me and Walter, we were talking a couple of days ago. Actually, we speak a lot, and he's a lovely guy, and he's a proper athlete, and I've got a lot of time for him. And the guy's tough, man. He hits like a steam train. So, I to be honest, I thought that I was going to walk out of there a loser, and I was ready to retire. And then obviously when I beat him in the style that I beat him, like the bulldog choke, my jiu-jitsu coach was all over the moon.
I hope you got a new belt that day.
Now, do you know what? I'm still a white belt. But you know, like Walt was a brown belt. Do you know what I mean? It's no joke. So to get that on him was a big thing, and I just remember that feeling. Obviously, being in such a big arena, I had fought for BAMMA before, a couple of times, but that was like NEC, a huge crowd. It was massive, and then I just remember when I won. And I won, obviously, like I won a lot of titles in the past, but you know, to win a BAMMA title was a big deal, and it just sort of relit my fire and wanted to do it. And you know, I walked out of there knowing that actually I've got this far because I'm good, because I can fight. And beating Walter sort of confirmed that for me. And that was before him. The only real name I'd beat, Shah Hussein, was obviously like, you know, he was good back in the day. And then Walter, and that was sort of like my build up to fighting for the other 2 world titles at BAMMA, and it gave me that confidence to take me through them next 2 fights, you know.
Well, yeah, and then what's great against Walter, you say he's a brown belt and you're a white belt, but at the end of the day, he might be a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but there's the old saying, is he a brown belt in MMA jiu-jitsu? You know, while getting punched in the face, you know.
And yeah, exactly, and this is why I'm a white belt, because all my jiu-jitsu or I do a lot of submission wrestling. So like Eric Uresk is my main MMA coach. He has got a grappling system. It's not judo, it's not jiu-jitsu, it's not wrestling, it's a grappling system. It's a combination of the 3. He's a black belt in all of them. So he designed his own style and his own technique. You know, you're going up against a guy that's mainly jits and you use more wrestling, do you know what I mean? And it's just using and adapting to their style. At that time, I think I was mainly working with Eddie Cohn. And again, Eddie Cohn, everything we do when I go to BJJ, he bases the class around BJJ for MMA or BJJ for fighting. It would never really focused on anything in the gi. I've been in the gi sort of 5 times, you know, which is always fun because you get the colour belts looking against the white belt and thinking they can dominate, which they soon change their tune.
That's it, man. It's a different game getting punched in the face while trying to, because as you know, you go for a leg lock, you have to, or an arm bar, you have to isolate both your arms, you know, and they're gone. Oh,
exactly. And I think looking back at my fight with Nicholas Stoles in Dublin, when I fought him, he was going. That was his downfall for the fight. He was going for heel hook. He actually did snap my ligament in my heel in that fight. But he was just like, yeah. So you know, he was like both of his arms. I was just punching him in the face. But because he was so eager to get the heel hook, he put himself at a disadvantage, and you know, got beaten up for the trouble.
That's it. And I said, I watched that fight back, and I know exactly what you mean. And you say that your tough fight before that was Shah, but I say Nicholas is a tough fight. He was 7-1, you know, or 7-0 going into that.
Yeah.
So, and also that was your first step onto the BAMMA stage. So you know what I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then to me, what's more impressive is obviously after the Walter fight, you were out for 10 months at the time. You know, you were considering retiring. You came back and fought one of the top guys in the division, Alex Lahore, who was on a 10-fight win streak. So 10-fight win streak, out for 10 months, and obviously I know you explained you had a huge loss in your family to yourself personally, literally less than a week beforehand. And what was it like to come away with a win in that? And you know, again, and have the title. That must have felt just that little much more better, you know, after everything that's happened.
Do you know what? It was crazy. Everything surrounding that fight was crazy. Me and Alex used to be good friends. Like we used to literally go to Thailand and train together. We used to do a lot together. You know, he's been around my house. He come and supported me when I fought in Dublin, when I fought Nicholas Stoles. And, you know, we were good friends and stuff. So, obviously, I told him that if he had the title and it gets offered to me, or, you know, I want the title, so we're going to fight. And he's like, yeah, cool, no worries. And he obviously just didn't believe me. Or didn't believe I'd get there. But, you know, I soon got there, and that's the guy I wanted to fight because he had the title, no other reason. I didn't dislike him. I dislike him now because of the way he's behaved. But I didn't dislike him at the time. Nothing was wrong with that. He got the ump. Obviously got matched up with Alex around about the time where my mum was really deteriorating from her cancer. And then she passed away on the Tuesday night before my fight week. I was cutting weight. Obviously I didn't sleep for 2 days. I had a horrendous weight cut, no sleep. Obviously, the emotional drain was hard, but she before she passed away, she made me promise that I would fight because she was worried that I would drop out because she knew she was on her way out. She made me promise that I would fight, which I've obviously made the promise to her, and she told me that I'm already her world champion. So don't matter what happens. Do you know what I mean? And like having that inside me was like. He weren't beating me that day. No way.
No.
So I was running on raw emotion that night, and as you could tell, I could have finished him. I could have been a lot more technical. There's a lot I could have done different that night, but I was running on pure emotion, and we got the job done. Alex is a legit guy. He's a good guy. Do you know what I mean? So I was happy to get that win.
And he's making noise in the Cage Warriors world at the moment as well. I actually got an opportunity to have a post-fight interview with him at Cage Warriors, night champion. So, it's good to see he's still doing well for himself as well. So then you went on to fight Reece McKee. So you were one of these champs then before it was even that popular or famous, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So obviously the reason I dropped down to lightweight, I've always wanted to drop down to lightweight, and my coach Dean Amazinga, obviously a weight cut fucking pro. He's a genius at cutting weights. And he's always like, you don't need to, it's dangerous, or it's just like I'm in that in between category where I'm a small welterweight or not a very big welterweight.
Yeah.
But
your last fight was catchweight, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't down to me. That was just because of the late replacement. But I'm an in between weight where really 73 kilos is a lovely weight for me. It's perfect. Lightweight is probably a bit too much to cut. Without sort of like preparation for it, sort of 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
Obviously I got the beat Reece, beat Alex at welterweight, and then I just felt like there was nothing. I didn't want to be a gatekeeper and just standing there fighting off guys that wanted to make a name for themselves as welterweights. So that sort of pushed me towards cutting to lightweight and fighting Reece.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got the okay from Dean, we done sort of a test cut to make sure I could get down to 77 kilos. Because that's what I have to be. Weight cut week, I have to be 77 kilos and cut 7 kilos in a week. We done that test cut, we confirmed that we could do it, and I was still powerful and fit. So we okayed the fight, and then ended up fighting Reece. And obviously, come away with a win against him. And I've got to add, he is the toughest geezer. He's got, I don't know what, he's got a head like a Fijian. Like his skull, he was taking shots and he was like smiling.
He was quite young, wasn't he? He was like 22, wasn't he, as well, something?
Yeah, this was only last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's like 21, 22, but the kid's tough, like seriously tough. I was hitting him with hammer fists and stuff, and he was literally smiling at the commentators and stuff. So it was weird. I was just like, give up. Do us both a problem. Do us both a favour. Do you know what I mean? I got the win with Reece and become a 2-weight champ at BAMMA.
Yeah, man, in front of your home crowd as well.
Yeah, it was nice.
Who'd you have with you that night there? Do you mind? Who'd you have with you that evening, with family-wise?
I had I think that night I had like 200 people there.
Bloody
250 people. The Alex fight. I had like 300 people. I normally take that sort of numbers, but saying that, after I lost in the last fight, not as many people come, which is quite funny. I've normally got a big crowd. I've always got my family. My family are always, no matter where I fight in the world, there's rumours that I might be fighting abroad at the end of the year. And everyone's sort of ready, getting their passports ready to go. So, I've got a good support network behind me.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to hear. So you're getting a lot of the training in as well, everyone around the country, getting different levels of skills in. So moving on to the next fight, I know it's not one you want to really talk about, so we won't go into it too much, but as I've watched you fight in many fights, and I love how your style, my favourite is when you come out all crouched down like Vanderlei Silva style, I'm thinking, here we go. What do they call that? The Roland hook? I can't remember what they call that move now. But no, I love when you come in, the commentators are calling it, and you come in swinging, but also you're controlled and you lead it into your takedowns as well. Like you feel being... And being 5%, you're quite a very well-rounded fighter, or would you say your strength is in your stand-up?
What people haven't seen is my stand-up. So in training, when I'm slightly more comfortable, my stand-up is I can box with the best of them. I can stand there and have K. I fought Tommy King at K1. Do you know what I mean? Tommy King was like ranked like number 1 in Europe or something like that. It was my first K1 fight. Just walked in there. Oh, a second, sorry. I fought Dave Round as well. You know, and I see that as my weakest area. I went in there. I beat the guy in the first round. Fair enough, he knocked me out in the second. The keys has got like bombs for hands, but and that, you know, that's something I'm working on. I put my chin in the air, and he obviously took advantage of that. But you know, my striking's good. I just don't use it in fights because my go-to is wrestling. You know, I know I can wrestle these guys. I know I can grapple. I love grappling, and I'm good at grappling, and it's something that comes naturally to me. But my stand-up is good, really good. And I used it in my last fight. Like my hands in my last fight were, you know, I put it on the kid. But again, like I strike, and then my go-to is wrestling. Like I watch it back, and I'm like, why didn't I just back up and keep hitting him? But you know, it's just one of those things. It's my go-to, and it's what it's my bread and butter, and it's what naturally comes. But it's, what we're working on at the moment is my striking, and not you know, I'm not relying on my wrestling as much, so I can show off my striking. You know, get some good knockouts and stuff. I knock people out in training accidentally. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to fights, I like to grapple. I don't know what it is, to be honest.
No, well, I said from what I'm seeing, though, you go from your punching into your grab. You do set them up nicely. You're not just diving in for takedowns left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And
well, what I used to do is like hold on too much and squeeze myself out. I'm fit as a fiddle, and I can do 5-minute rounds of grappling or an MMA fight. But I was gassing myself, and I kept saying to my coach, I want to be fit. They said, it's not your fitness, it's your energy management. Energy management. So in the last fight, if you see, I didn't hold on once. I wasn't squeezing for anything, and you know, it just flowed a lot more. And there were submissions, submission attempts, I was striking, I was knocking him down. You know, and everything. It's just a better all-rounded game. You know, and I'm always evolving. I've only been doing this 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always learning. And at the moment, all I'm allowed to do is box. My coach is only letting me box, so you know, so I can bring that confidence on and get confident standing in the pocket, having more of a striking fight.
And because I know how good your ground game is, and I said I've seen in your early days how good your stand-up is anyway, you know, as well. And were you surprised by, I don't want to say it because you're going to get the other, like, please don't get the other, but obviously by Bungard getting the submission in, because I know your ground game's good, you've been in that position so many times, you know, and obviously grudge aside, like, were you surprised that he managed to get you in that, or did you know the skills he was bringing? Because he's got a solid ground game, Bungard.
Nah, he's fucking wank.
I knew I shouldn't have said anything.
He's an absolute tit, and he wouldn't really match me because he knows I'd destroy him. Look, I'll be honest, I was like, so basically, I hate people that lose and that come up with excuses. At the end of the day, I chose to get in there that night, so I lost, and you know that I can't change that. I can't take it back. Bungard made the most of it. I needed money at the time. Money on the table, so I chose to fight. I discharged myself from hospital. I was on antibiotics. I was on drip antibiotics. I had an infection in my elbow, so I couldn't even jab the pad in the warm up. Couldn't even jab in the warm up. So I was absolutely drained. I was fucked, and I kept thinking I'll be fine when I get to the arena. I didn't got to the arena, and I was still whack. So I was like, I'll be fine when I get in the fight. The fight came. I walked in the cage, and I just remember thinking, I just do not want to be here. And if you watch the fight, boom, I hit him, I back him up. Mate, you hit him, he fucking stands against the cage like a wife that gets beaten by a husband. He's like a little bitch. He don't like getting hit. I hit him, he backed up against the cage. But what I'd done stupidly, which going back to what I said a minute ago, I started to grapple with him. And I never had the grappling shot. I was exhausted from after 10 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hit him, backed him against the cage, and you can see I go through the underhook, and then we start grappling. And to be honest, he felt like a light heavyweight. That's the strength comparison. He felt so strong, which he isn't. I know you just watch his last fight with Charlie Leary; he got raped. So anyway, yeah, you know, I had him with an overhook, and if you watch my last fight, you see how strong my overhooks are. I control people with overhook all the time, but he just like shrugged it off and took my back. And again, you watch my last 3 fights, I've been in rear naked chokes. No one could choke me out rear naked choke. My defence is, I'm all over my rear naked choke defence. But I just laid there. I remember he put his hip in, and I remember feeling how much it hurt my lower back. I just ached all over. and I tapped. And that's another thing. My coaches couldn't believe I tapped. Like, I wouldn't tap a training, let alone a fight. Everything was wrong about that night, but I can't take it back. That's the past, and this, I can only change the future. So, but what he has done is relit my fire. I was content before then. I was so content. I was like, I can't beat anyone. I can't beat any of these lightweights. I wasn't even training the hard as I could train because I don't know. I maybe just got too chilled in what I was doing. Just thought, and because I was supposed to beat him, I was like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a mug. I'll beat him up. But everyone comes to fight. It's changed my outlook on fighting and my training and everything, really. So, he's done me a favour, and I'm ready for another 10-fight win streak off the back of that.
Well, you took it well. It was your first loss in like 3 years. You know what I mean? And before that, that was unfortunate anyway.
Well, but this is no joke, right? And this ain't no bullshit. People will say, "Yeah, all right, mate." But my other loss, my second pro fight, I swear like I was shitting through the eye of a needle, right? And I didn't want to turn up. I turned up to the arena late. It was a shock and awe. And I rung up. I was going, "Bruv, I'm so ill and all that." He's going, "No, you got to come here. You got to be here. You got to be here." And I turned up. I walked out there. If you watch the fight, I didn't even throw a punch. I walked out there and the geezer just knocked me straight out. 9 seconds. So I've never, in my eyes, all right, I've got 2 losses on my record. But if you look at them, I haven't lost. I haven't been beat. I'm my best. If I turn up, I've never been beat. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. And I'm happy with that as myself. I'm happy with how I perform. I'm happy with my performances. And I've just been unfortunate. But everyone loses in this game, and it's just woken me up and sort of relit my fire, But he would never rematch me. I'd love to rematch him. It's easy money.
What was your reaction to his, how he behaved after, when the referee was raising his hands? Like,
if he had come over, like I go to all my opponents that I beat and went, "Yeah, sweet, nice one, thanks for the fight, thanks for the opportunity, blah blah blah," I'd be sweet. He's on the cage swearing to my fans, swearing to my family. He's lucky I didn't do him in the car park, to be honest. And then I've seen him in the changing room of the last Bellator. He's sitting there like a little scared girl in the corner, trying not to eye contact with me and all that. And then after his fight, he started fucking giving me jip online. It's just a turd. I have no respect for anyone like that. And like I say, if they don't rematch me in my next fight, then I've got no. To be fair, I feel like I'm above him anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say you're above that now. I'd just say.
Yeah, like I've called him out online, and I've had people ring me going, "Take that down because you look stupid calling a mug out like that." But I'm telling you now, like if I don't get a rematch by the end of the year, then I'm not going to fight him. I'm just going to do him next time I see him because he's just rude, and I can't stand people like that.
I'll tell you what, give that Dave Feldman a call from Bare Knuckle FC and have a one-off match in there with him.
Mate, if they release me, if Bellator release me, 100% I'll do that. I'll do it this weekend. Like,
do it for free.
Yeah, I would. Do you know what? I was that tempted. That's what I said to my manager. I was like, "Look, if they rematch me with him, I say to him, keep your win bonus. Just give me my purse." Like, I just want to beat him up just because, out of principle, just because of how rude he was and that. If he would have come over to me and was like, "Oh, sweet, nice one, cheers," I'd be like, "Happy days. Well done. You took advantage of my misfortune." But he was rude to me, rude to my fans. So that's an enemy for life.
Well, because I think if Charlie Leary didn't win that evening, and Charlie Leary's a warrior, obviously, I think that would have set the match up for you two. It wouldn't have looked so bad about calling him out, if you see what I mean.
Exactly.
But Charlie dominated him. I'm neutral on this one. I've got no disrespect for Bungar at all, but I don't like how he is shouting at your fans and stuff. That's not acceptable. It should all be, at the end of the day, shake hands. That's the thing.
But it doesn't do anything for the sport. That's what these people don't realise. It doesn't do anything for the sport, which to build the sport becomes a governed sport in this country and stuff, and then you get people acting like tits. Like it's just stupidity. You know what I mean? Like he was the first Scottish fella to get signed to Bellator and all this. He could have made himself look so much better than he did. But that's none of my concern. I don't care. I'd be grateful to get the opportunity to beat him up.
Well, the way I've been brought up is, and I've heard from, even go back as late as like the traveller community, if they have a problem, they fight it out and they shake hands at the end and the argument's over. And that's the old school way we do things
well, that's
in
where
the
I learned
UK.
how to fight. I grew up with them boys, so I know all about that.
So you know about respect and stuff like that after a fight.
Right. It's like, mate, at the end of the day, you've got a problem, have a fight, shake hands after. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I was saying to you before we started this recording, my pal got shot the other day and all that. I was like, what's wrong with people just having a straightener in the streets and getting it over and done with? Like, people running around shooting each other and stabbing each other, it's ridiculous.
Everyone's carrying nowadays. Like, you
seem to have lost... mate, it's just that no one's got any respect or any, there's no pecking order anymore, neither. But I think they teach that at schools. There's none of this like winning and losing on sports day. They get everyone to grow up the same in school, no winner, no loser, and all this crap, and then wonder why kids are running around the street stabbing each other.
Hello, I think we got cut off, Terry.
Hello?
Oh, there we are, mate.
Hello?
I got you again. You must have gone through a bad signal area, mate. So, what were you saying? Sorry about that, mate. That's right. Where were you up to? Yeah, you were saying that obviously people are just carrying all the time now.
Yeah, it's just, there just seems to be no respect at all. There's no pecking order. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this goes back to, I don't know. We grew up, you had fights on the streets.
Yeah.
Even if police caught you, they're just like, right, go home. Do you know what I mean? It's the trouble is now there's no middle ground. No one's allowed to get slapped. Like, if you was cheeky on the streets or you was cheeky in traffic or wherever, you get slapped and you get put in your place, and that would be the end of it. Whereas now there's so
I've lost you again, Terry.
so harsh. Hello?
Hello, I've gone. You're back again. Sorry, sorry, mate. Sorry about that. I think your internet went again a bit.
Nah.
That's right. What's that? Just give it literally
Just think,
5 seconds. It'll come on.
Back on.
I'm with you, mate. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the connection to get better.
Oh.
But yeah, mate. No, I'm going to completely agree with you. No, you're right. There's no respect anymore. Everyone's carrying out there now. Like, I've known people I used to drink with. They went outside and some bloke was hitting his missus, which is unacceptable. He stepped in to stop it, and then they just stabbed him to death. And it's just not acceptable anymore. And I don't know what's going on in the world. Maybe they should bring back conscription, mate. Put everyone in the army at 16. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what sorted me out.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, Terry. If you don't mind talking about it, like, you don't have to, because I know you spoke about it a lot. Like, tell us about your days before, the MMA world and before all of this cage fighting world, mate.
Well, to be honest, like, I'm talking about them little kids on the streets and little fuckers and all that. I was one of them. Probably one of the worst, if I'm honest. And that led me up into a court case that I got away with. I was looking at getting sentenced for something I didn't do, obviously. Got away with it, and ended up joining the army just on a promise to my mum, to be honest. I took my life out. So, yeah, joined the army when I was like 20, 21, and knuckled down, ended up in the parachute regiment, served in Afghanistan with them boys. Learned some life skills, put life into perspective, watching how easy it's lost, and how easy life is changed for people, with injuries and stuff like that. And I come close a couple of times. Got pinned down by a sniper. I've got holes in some of my kit that I was wearing on the day. That's how close the bullets were.
Blimey,
it's all in like the Imperial War Museum in London and stuff. There's like a little story on me and shit.
You can't train for that stuff, can you? Bullets flying at you.
No, you can't train for it. Do you know what? And that's what I take into the cage. Like, sometimes I worry and all that. My coach, Eric's like, you're a bad motherfucker. Like, you need to realise who you are. They ain't going to be shooting you. They ain't going to be blowing you up. Like, you're a bad man, basically. Like, and when you think like that, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get punched. You're going to get punched up, do you know what I mean? And taking that into the cage helps so much. I look across the cage at my opponent sometimes, and they're trying to stare you out and all that, and I'm like, man, I can see the fear in your eyes. This is the worst. This is the most combat you've ever been in.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, them standing in the cage in front of a couple of thousand people ready to throw fists is the most combat they've ever seen. Mate, you wait till you've been in the trenches and you're getting shot at, and there's mortars coming in, and there's explosions going on around you, and do you know what I mean? There's people bleeding out next to you, and you've got to stay focused.
Exactly. Everyone can watch a war film, but it's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's,
Mate, I'm telling you, it's you know, and I've got that to thank. Although you know, the army's messed up my head a little bit, and you know, PTSD I struggle with and stuff. Although it's horrible, I wouldn't change it for the world, because it's made me who I am now, and you know, it's made me mentally tough and physically fit. And it's the same as my upbringing, shit upbringing, you know, bad time with alcoholic dad and blah, 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 you know, the rest of it. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because thanks to my dad, I've got an iron jaw.
Right, it's nice you can obviously laugh back now and look back, and you know, you can even though things weren't the right way of doing things, at least you know, you've learned from it. And look at you now, you know, you've got yourself,
Yeah.
you've got kids now, haven't you, like a family, you know.
Yeah,
you've got your career.
got my little boy in the back of the motor. He come boxing with me this morning. He's only 2 years old. He's already hitting pads and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I saw the picture on Facebook, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's that's all good. And like, so you can take something positive from every situation in life, and that's what I try and do. There's no point dwelling on negative past and stuff like that. At the end of the day, all you can do is help. You know, let that help shape your future and your kids' futures and stuff. You know, and if it's a negative for you, you need to make it a positive for someone else.
Yeah, I think it's important to have that sort of, you know, for the army, the discipline you had, you know. I think that's the problem kids have nowadays. I'm sure your little boy will grow up with the discipline you did, you know, and but you'll grow up not like these little reprobates on the streets. Like, my father was in the army for many years. I was actually born in Hong Kong in a military base, you know, so I was transferred around, and he ended up in Northern Ireland and places like that. He doesn't talk about it, you know, and stuff, but he's done well for himself now. He was a little shit beforehand, so it goes to prove the army does sort you out. But what I want to know is, did you learn any MMA? Because the paratroopers is a massive different, a different level of training from you know, the basic infantry that you probably started off in. Was there any particular training which you use in MMA now? I don't mean mentally, I mean like physically, like skill wise.
No,
there was no boxing in there or anything.
No, that you could have joined the boxing team, like Jack Marshman. Obviously, he's in free para as well. Jack Marshman used to fight for a free para boxing team. Yeah. And you know, I think he was on the army boxing team as well. But I was never really into it, to be honest with you. Before I started fighting MMA, I'd never really done anything. I've only ever just fought like on the street, and I was that dickhead that used to get pissed and end up fighting every weekend. And mate, I couldn't drive 2 miles up the road without having road rage and fighting someone, and you know, that's about as much experience I had when I walked into the gym. And I only walked into the gym because I got discharged from the army from PTSD and was depressed and just wanted to fight, basically. And I just thought, fuck it, I'll go to the nearest fighting gym. And it was the NFM Windsor. I walked in there, met Dean Amazinger, trained for 4 days, and had 2 fights on an interclub that weekend. And just got stuck in, basically. And then after he see that, he was like, he obviously see how much heart I had, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just fighting guys that have been doing it years, throwing down, like getting punched, getting dropped, getting arm barred, and just like manning through it, like. And I'm walking out of the cage. He's like, "Look, stick with me, lad. You're going to go far. Like, I can teach you the skills to go with your heart." And literally, I've trained every day since then. Nice,
man. Do you believe that maybe saved you from, you know, the PTSD getting even worse? You know, if you didn't go into MMA straight away, and just sat around.
Bit of a shit thing to talk about, but yeah, I was like fucking.
If you don't want to talk about it, don't have to.
No, I don't mind talking about it. I'm
just
saying, like, you know, like some people don't like hearing it, but you know, I was suicidal then, like bad. I was in a bad way. I was in a toxic relationship. I was just a loose cannon. My head was fucked up. Everything was fucked up. And then, like, there was days where I just didn't want to be here. You know what I mean? And missus was stopping me seeing my kids at the time and stuff.
Man.
I was the lowest of a low, where I would have gone out and just OD'd, or do you know what I mean? Just been a retard and not really thought about what I was doing. And literally, walking into the gym that day saved me. And even now, you know, I think it's part of my genes and that I inherited from my dad, unfortunately. Like the old, like being an alcoholic and stuff like that. When I've got a fight booked or haven't got an incentive, I'm straight. You know, I want to drink, I want to party, and you know, without MMA, as like MMA's like my addiction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And without that, unfortunately, you know, I think it would be drink or drugs. So you know, I've got it to thank massively, and especially my coaches and stuff, because they keep me on track. You know.
Yeah, man, it's great to hear. And how did you hear? How did you find transitioning from street fighting to controlled technical fighting? Did you find it was very different to what you were used to?
Oh man, I'm used to like 10 seconds and on your toes. Do you know what I mean? Like, do what you can and run. But yeah, it's so different. Like I used to, you watch my early fights, I was just strong and just aggressive. And I literally just throw down. Now, like all we used to do is smash weights. So I thought being big and strong was what you had to be a fighter, and actually it's complete opposite. Whereas being lighter and more flexible allows you to fight much better. So yeah, it was a huge difference. Whereas like putting 100% into every punch literally will last 10 seconds. Whereas, you know, fighting MMA, you have to be a lot more controlled and technical to last the 5-minute round, you know.
Yeah, you don't see many people throwing a leg kick outside the local pub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Be interesting though, wouldn't it? See someone throw a spinning roundhouse kick or something.
I've seen people kick in the street before MMA, thinking, "What are you doing?" But now I know how much it hurts.
Why kick her in the leg? Yeah, you know why.
And do you know what? It's a lot less dangerous. If I did, you know, touch wood, I've only ever had to hit one person outside the cage in the last 5-6 years. If I did, then I'll definitely go for a leg kick. You're less likely to get, you know, to hurt them, I guess.
Body kick, kick, body kick or something.
Yeah, like, just like leg kick. Yeah. No, yeah. I think if you're hitting people in the head, and especially if you're, you know what you're doing, you're a pro fighter, they're at a massive disadvantage, and it's just not worth it. You hit someone in the head and they die. It's like, do you want to be getting 10 years for manslaughter over hitting someone in the street?
No, and it's not even that, because I'm sure when you get to a certain level of fighting, don't you have to sign off something saying that you're a professional fighter and your hands are legal weapons?
That's in boxing.
Is that boxing?
I think it's a section. What is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's section 13 or something like that. So basically, if you hit someone with a weapon, for example, they call it section 13 or whatever. That's the same. If you're a fighter and you hit someone, you get done the same as if you'd hit him with a bat or a hammer. If you're a professional fighter, yeah. So it's just not worth it. And like, you know, it gives me the maturity and the discipline to walk. I've walked away from so much. You know, when people have started and you look at them, you have to laugh because you're like, mate, you do not know what you're getting yourself into. You know, unfortunately, like I said, I have had to neutralise someone. That sounds good. Yeah, I have had to neutralise someone in the last 6 years. But that's because I was with a guy and I walked outside the pub and there was 5 of them. One of them glassed him. And it was going down like that, and I walked out into the middle of that, and they've obviously gone for me. So, you know, obviously in self-defence.
Terry the neutraliser Brazier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so I neutralised him, but you know, even that made me feel guilty, if I'm honest, because I hit the guy a couple of times, and just the accuracy and the I don't know,
precision and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just like the way it hit him, and like all his friends were shot. All his friends didn't like just stood back straight away, knowing that hold up, this fella obviously knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Throwing straight shots down the pipe, and it did actually stop the situation. But it made me feel guilty, man, because you get these people out of a few pints, they think they can fight, and they do get themselves into altercations that with an MMA fighter, they're not going to come off very well.
Man, they probably want to fight you even more knowing you're an MMA fighter. That's probably the worst thing about it.
I do get that. I went to my little brother's wedding. He married some traveller girl, and I had it there. Oh, you know, you're a fighter. You think you're all right? I'm like, mate, like, I don't want to fight you for your caravan. I don't care.
They earn good money, those boys.
Yeah, I just had to walk away. Do you know what? That's what I say to a lot of them. I was like, look, stick 60 grand in my bank, I'll fight you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fight you for the sake of it and possibly getting arrested. It's just not worth it.
Exactly, mate. It's a funny old world, isn't it, in the UK? People in America listen to this because people in the States listen to this think, what the hell goes over on the UK?
Oh, mate, yeah. Do you know what? That's one thing about the UK. Everyone from England just love to fight, or Britain, isn't it? They all love to fight. They love to, like, that masculinity, like that chest pumping, like...
Yeah, man, it's the football hooligan stuff, isn't it? You know, that's
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they're not like it in any other country. It's really weird.
Well, I don't know. If you go to some of the European countries, some of those Polish blokes, those bloody football hooligans are off their head.
Yeah, them boys have like 10 on 10, don't they? They arrange to meet up and
they actually
have,
train.
Like,
they train. Like when the World Cup went to Russia or whatever it was, they actually they were training in fields for mass fighting. Like, and then they stormed the England fans with gum shields and then May gloves on.
No, I see a video, and you see some of the guys, they're all like wearing Venom shorts and shit like that, and I'm like, these guys, they ain't come for the football at all.
They're proper fight. Well, not proper fighters, but don't get me wrong, they know what they're doing, sort of. But it's more scary stuff, mate.
You know what? I've actually, you know, the 4-on-4.
Yeah.
I think that's a Polish thing. I was really interested in that.
Really?
That's something. Yeah, and you know, a few of us spoke about it. But I spoke to my now manager actually. And he's like, look, it's just not a good look for MMA, and you know, if you want to go far in MMA, this probably is the best thing to do.
The problem is though, as soon as one of your teammates gets knocked down, it's a problem because then it's 4-on-3. Well, I don't know. How do you feel 1-on-4? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? Every Christmas, I don't mind. I'm used to that. That's what I got brought up on. Like we're at Christmas. Actually, last Christmas we do like a special sparring. You know, like fun sparring. So like last year they were doing it in a gi, and then the year before that we were doing 3-on-1. And I fucking loved it. I was in my element because I know I just backed myself up to a wall into the corner, and I was just giving digs, and like I was the only one that stayed on my feet 3-on-1, and I was dropping the others. Like so, I love that. I've got a lot of time for that. That's when you see the difference between a fighter and an athlete. Because nowadays you're getting a lot of these boys, especially younger than me, that they've grown up on MMA and they've grown up in the gym and that, but they've never had a street fight. So they can fight as a MMA fighter, but when it really gets tough, when they've been punched and they're bleeding and they're on the bottom for 2 rounds, that's when you know whether they're a fighter or not, whether they come back in the third and they can win. Do you know what I mean?
And do you feel like that's quite a big strength for you, your mentality towards the sport?
100%. 100%. I've always said you don't know whether you're a fighter or not unless you've been stamped on. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've been on, you know, under someone's boot in the street.
Or shot at by a sniper.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it's them character defining moments that I know I'm a fighter, and I know I can step in the cage with anyone and I'll fight. You know, because I've had to come back from that. I've had a lad and his dad kicking my head in, kicking my face in. Do you know what I mean? When I was like 15 years old, and I had to get up from that and give some back and be on my toes. Do you know what I mean? So. I know I'm made of that stuff where you see a lot of fighters and, you know, they're great. They're so skillful and they've been doing it since they're 12 years old and they're so technical and all that. But, you know, the reality is when you put it on them, they're going to melt.
And that's it. And as I said, it's very important, that mentality. You see a lot of fighters coming through now, especially some of the younger ones. They're getting involved in MMA at like 16. They haven't had much. Well, we don't encourage, obviously, street fighting, but they haven't had that sort of streetwise sort of like, you know what I mean, they've been put through like the public education or private education.
I think eventually it will become fair because they're all going to be like that. I think like athlete fighters are going to grow up like that because no one grows up on the street fighting anymore. They're either, if you're on the street, you're stabbing people.
Mm-hmm.
Harsh reality. And if you're not on the street, you're in the gym with other people. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely going to end up growing out the actual tough fighters, if that makes sense. You know, like kids don't even get slapped by their parents anymore because they get arrested for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, no. If I didn't get a clip round here when I was younger, I think it would have been a different story where I am now. You know, but that might be the military upbringing anyway. But the thing is, when you grow up in certain areas, you know, if you don't have the discipline, then you know what I mean. It's a bit of a problem. But as I said, you're obviously I'm sure your little one's gonna be brought up to be exactly what you want him to be, and not like a little reprobate, which is great to hear, mate.
Oh, 100%. He's already in the gym getting slaps.
It's good though because it teaches discipline, martial arts. I was doing judo from a young age, and you know what? It does teach discipline. And what you're saying about 100%. Kids not having that experience. there's more money around nowadays and there's more opportunity. So people are going in learning MMA as a whole, or parents can afford to put them through Muay Thai gyms or Jiu-Jitsu gyms and things like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And to be honest, it's keeps, parents are doing it just to keep their kids off the street now, I think.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good for the sport as well.
No, definitely good for the sport. And again, it's the fastest growing sport in the UK, so I'm sure you're happy to be part of it, and you're passing your 100%. Knowledge to some of the other lot coming up through the ranks at the moment. Do you find you're actually learning anything off these newbies stepping onto the scene, like some of these different techniques that you've never seen before?
Do you know what's really funny? My style's quite unique to me, and I make it work for me, whereas that last fight, I had 4 different opponents, 4 different names given to me. And we were obviously training for Peter Queeley, and then he dropped out and got Tim Wild. And it was like, my coach was like, right, has anything changed? And I went, nope, just do you. Do you know what I mean? Because, I don't know, I've got that style where I'll just pressure people and not meant, do you know what I mean? Who trains to fight on their back foot and fight under pressure? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got one of them styles where I can just be me and do me, and that's all I have to do. And that beats flashy styles. You know, a lot of these lads that are good kickboxers and point kickboxers and all this, they're all like, yeah, that's great if the other guy's on their back foot, but you've got someone like me coming at you, I'm not going to be put on my back foot. You can hit me and I'm going to carry on coming. And, you know, so that's why my style's good and I like it. It's like a Chuck Liddell style, isn't it? Just go forward and just fight. Do you know what I mean? It's a proper fight. Whereas you get these boys that are very technical and stuff like that. I think they become unstuck quite easy.
Yeah, I think every fight you put on, especially recently, is that I think we've seen the best first rounds in MMA in quite a lot of your fights. You know, your fights are really exciting. It's never a dull moment. Like in the first round, if anyone ever misses one of them, if you're watching a Terry Brazier fight in the first round, just don't blink, because it's like literally shit is going to go down.
My manager said to me last fight, he's like, you're the most up and down fighter. He's like, you just think you've got it, and then you do something where you give them something. Like, if you look at all my fights, every time I've been in a bad situation, it's because I've given it to them, if that makes sense. Like, in that last fight, I sat down at one point and was just taking a breather. And the coach was like, next time, take a breather when you're on top. Don't let them get on top. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just me. It's all part of it, and it's what keeps it exciting. And as long as it gets people watching and tuning in to watch a Bellator, then, you know, I'm happy with it. It's entertainment business at the end of the day. So as long as it's entertaining, then I'm happy.
No, it's definitely, it's really exciting. It's a really exciting style. As I said, I'll repeat, when you come out Vanderlei Silver style, just next time, do it for me. Put your hands together and roll them like Vanderlei does when he walks forward.
Yeah.
So that is literally classic. So what's the future? What's your future plans then for you? Are you going to fight in a 6-man tournament? You're going to go abroad? What's the plan?
I'd love to. I don't know. So I'm just waiting on Bellator at the moment. There's rumours of me in November. I wanted to be in the Dublin car in September and then December. But for them, I don't know, maybe they only want me to fight one more time this year. I wanted to fight twice, but they're saying November, which sort of like cancels out me fighting any other date. So I'm just aiming for November. I'm going to try. I'm going to go do my fight camp in Las Vegas at Extreme Couture.
Oh, nice.
I was out there a few weeks ago and went and checked the gym out and done a bit of sparring there. So they've got a good gym. Aim for November, and then hopefully renegotiate my contract next year. I'd love to be in a tournament. I'm just going to keep climbing, man. I want a title shot. I want to be in that top 5. Ryan Scope fought Pitbull.
Yeah.
Ryan Scope's fighting Peter Queeley now, so I wouldn't mind the winner out of that, which would hopefully put me in contention for the top 5 fight. Reality is this time next year I want to be headlining a Bellator and possibly fighting for a title.
No, I know you spoke about in the past. You've always wanted to fight in America and take on the American boys and things like that. Is that definitely something you still want to do in your career?
100%. Like, listen, Bellator told me to get my work visa for America. I went through all the ag of doing that, so I can't imagine they've told me to do that for no reason. And yeah, man, I want my name out there, and I want them paychecks to grow. And if that means fighting people in America, so be it. I'll fight fucking Iceland if I have to. As long as the money's right, and then then I'm good to go.
Well, tournament would be cushy, obviously, because that's $1 million at the end of that one.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd love to do that. It'd be nice if the lightweight one's next.
Well, that's
100%.
it. If anything, if you look at it, it looks like it will be the next one. You know?
Yeah, featherweight now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's featherweights now, but who's saying they can't run two side by side? You know, since they released the featherweight one, it's had such an uproar. Everyone's like talking about it. So you never know, Terry, mate.
So what was it? The one before that was light heavyweight, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, was it light heavyweight or heavyweight? Yeah, we're Bader.
Heavyweight.
Yeah, I think it was heavy. Was it heavyweight? I can't remember now.
Yeah,
Bader won it. I know Bader won it. Yeah, so he was two-division champ. Yeah. But yeah. But how about that? How about that for them? Double BAMMA champ, double Bellator champ. That sounds nice.
Mate, that's the other thing as well. Like, I'm not saying that I won't fight at welterweight. I'll fight at welterweight as well. Do you know what I mean? But them boys are big, to be fair. The thing is that I'd fight back at welterweight. But if I was really going to give it a good shot at welterweight, I'd take 6 months off. I'd get back on my weights, because as soon as I train weights, my body pumps up. And, you know, you just watch my early fights, I was fucking massive, because all I used to do is train weights. Now I'm literally not even allowed to touch weights because I just balloon. But yeah, I'd want, you know, if I was to fight at welterweight, I'd take a serious fight at welterweight, I'd want a few months off to get my strength and muscle mass back up, and then go for it. But, you know, these fucking idiots like Richard Kiley and MVP and all that, like, I'll fucking fight them tomorrow at welterweight, do you know what I mean? The fact that MVP just got that fight is an absolute joke. Absolute joke.
Co-main event as well, wasn't it?
Co-main event. Richard Kiley's mate, don't even get me into it. Absolute joke.
That just shows you what social media does, mate.
I'll tell you why he got it, because he's up John Kavanagh's arse. John Kavanagh's all to do with the Bellator Europe, so he obviously calls the shots there. They have invested all their money. Bellator have invested all their money into MVP, and MVP, they need to get him back into the win column, because he didn't beat Paul Daly convincingly, and then just got knocked the fuck out by Lima. So they want him back in the win column, and then fair play to MVP, because he's just got an easy paycheck. He's going to get in there. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's going to get in there. He's going to mess around. He's going to dance around, and he's going to get another highlight reel knockout. 100%. Like all these other UCMA ones. Because Richard Kiley's not at that calibre. He talks a good fight, but no one's seen a good fight out of him yet.
Well, he hasn't had that much experience either in the Bellator game. And as you said, he just tells you what social media does. They all talk shit as well on there.
Yeah, he's a 2-2 amateur and a 3-1 pro.
Yeah.
And he's just got co-main event against MVP. Like, are you joking?
But he's
an old man. Like, oh my god.
There's a
biggest joke.
Few quid chucked in there, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a freak fight. I did think about it. Someone that I want to fight. It's a bit of a freak fight. Charlie Parry.
Yeah.
So this is going to cause a fucking shitstorm. Charlie Parry, I'd love to fight him and just show him up. Like, he couldn't get light enough. I wouldn't fight him at heavyweight, but if he got down to 90 kilos, I'd fight him. I'm telling you now. He's a chopstick. He was gobbing off at John Jones, calling John Jones out because he's Daniel Cormier's boyfriend. And he thought he had to protect his boyfriend. So he was calling him out. So I wrote on his thing, you know, like, there's levels to this game. Like shut the fuck up, basically. John Jones is a pound-for-pound best in the world. And Paris at bum. So yeah, and it all started off.
Oh, Terry, I'm losing you again, mate.
Give it next.
Lost you again.
I might see you on my
Hello?
I lost you again. Hello. Are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, mate. So you said something about you said, I don't know what's going on with the connections here today. I really do apologise, mate, if it's my end.
Oh, no, it's me driving. It's my end.
So you were saying about he was like sticking up for Daniel Cormier with John Jones or something like that?
Yeah. He went to the Body Expo. He was gobbing off to John Jones, and like obviously to get himself some press and stuff. So I just wrote on there. I was like, look, there's levels to this. Shut the fuck up. He's a pound for pound best in the world, and you're just a bum. And then obviously me and him had like backwards and forwards online. And yeah, basically. So I said to him, lose some weight and I'll fight you. Do you know what I mean? If he got down to 90 kilos, I think, and then I'd just walk in there at 85, 86 kilos and I'd fight him all day long. I think that'd be a good little freak fight as well.
Do you know what, Terry, looks like you're going to be a busy man, mate. You've got a lot of people you're looking for now, like him. You want a bit of Bungard, you want to get him MVP. I love it, mate. Good.
I'll tell you what, I'll fight them all on the fucking same night.
4-on-1,
right
we did know that.
Yeah, well, 4-on-4. I've got a couple of guys that tell me. Oh, listen, my coach, I'm not even joking, my coach wants to fight Charlie Parry as well. Just because he's just a knob. And my coach is like 5'3". I should say 5'4". Because he might be a bit more than that. But my coach is tiny, and Charlie Parry's obviously like fucking 6'9" or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another little freak fight for you. Do you know what? I just want some exciting stuff to come up. I don't want to fight that guy from Italy. Fair play to him. He stood up last minute, this, that, and the other. But I want an exciting fight. Fights that people are going to talk about. People are going to tune in to watch and all that. I don't just want to be another fight on the card. Do you know what I mean? And styles make fights, and people make fights, and where Richard Kiley's shit, he's talked it up, and everyone's interested. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I need, and that's what I want, and hopefully that's what Bellator are going to give me for my next fight, or possibly the one after that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure you're open to a lot. I guess you want to be as active as you can. So let's say you fight later on this year in November and you get through it, say nice and easy, first round knockout, no scratches, nothing at all, and then they say, yeah, if you want to fight in December, we'll give you Bungard. Do you know what I mean? For the
100%. They won't do that. But so I wanted to fight September and December because I know there's two shows on. There's Dublin and then there's Newcastle. That's what I wanted. I wanted September and December. But they're saying November, so probably the earliest I'd be able to fight then is sort of January, February.
Fair enough then.
But, I definitely want to be more active, or as active as I can be.
Yeah, there are a lot of good people in your division anyway, so it'd be good to see you climb through the rankings there. And I know you've always had a little look at people like Benson Henderson before in the past, taking on him. So
just because of the name, and like, if you're going to fight someone that's tough, you might as well fight someone that's tough with a name. You know what I mean?
I'd like to see you fight Chandler, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
That'd be a war, yeah.
Exactly.
He's a tough guy, and don't get me wrong, I'd stand there and bang with a fella. I don't care, any of them. Anyone with a big name, I'm interested in.
Nah, brilliant, man. Is that your little one in the back there?
Yeah. Moaning at me, I'm not giving him any attention.
Oh, I'll tell you what then, mate, I've kept you for quite a while now. Again, I really appreciate you coming on, Terry. I said, you're literally doing this in between driving to gyms and things like that, so, you know what I mean, busy lifestyle now. Just want to give you an opportunity to shout out any sponsors, any people I know you haven't already mentioned or have mentioned, give them a shout out now, mate.
Yeah, well, obviously all my coaches in that, Massive Sport, Eric US, Dean Ammersinger, Eddie Cohn, Russell Abrams, Kenny Moyston, and then my main sponsor, eBrit Services, look it up. They're doing big things in London and stuff after the Grenfell Towers. They're doing all the fire protection for all the tower blocks and stuff. So yeah, look them up, and then obviously Full Reptile, part of the Full Reptile Collective. Look them up.
And also, where can people follow you, mate, like on social networks and stuff like that?
Just Terry Brazier, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Drop me a message, any questions, look me up, and yeah, always endeavour to answer and get back to everyone.
And myself, again, I really appreciate it. I've been watching you since the BAMMA days before I was doing any of this sort of interviewing or stuff. So, it's been great to chat to you because someone I've watched from an early day, holding one of the first person I saw hold 2 titles anyway. It's when the McGregor thing happened. We were just like, we've seen it before in England.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Whatever. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll definitely talk again.
Yeah, sweet, brother. Nice one. No worries.
Thanks very much, Terry.
Take care, mate. See you soon. Bye. Bye.
If you've liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes. We're live every Sunday at 8:30 PM talking MMA. Go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, give us a like there, and follow us on Twitter @martial arts chat.
Change your heart.